Hey, we're the Attire, and this is our track by track about our new album, Songs About Girls Like You. Songs About Girls Like You is a title that's inspired by one of our songs, Girls Like You. The little catchphrase in the song is people write songs about girls like you. We felt that, that title really summed up the entire album, because what Steven and I did is we took the narrative of a relationship from the beginning to the end, all the ups and downs and in betweens of all those little nuances of relationship, and made it into a little story. So it actually sums up that entire thing. These are the songs about girls like you.
What Greg was saying, the whole album is kind of based off like there's no rules when it comes to love and the journey through a breakup and finding yourself again. But Girls Like You, I feel like that came during the middle out of all the records on the album. It definitely wasn't the first song.
Funny enough, Naked is actually inspired by my homie that's on this Zoom right now, Steven's story, which, I'll let him kind of dive into it. But, he was dating, somebody at the time. And, he talked about this, like, as we were talking about what the album is about, like kind of like going back and forth, dating this person, not sure, the uncertainty of it all. As being one of his best friends, like, one of the honors of being somebody's like BFF is like listening and being there for them. And, when Steven was sitting on his couch in his basement and I was just listening to this story, I was like, dude, holy shit. Like, this entire concept would make like an amazing song, like the songwriter in me, but also being the friend that's listening. Right. So I'm listening and we're actually like, he's telling the story and we're making the song. And then Steven comes up with, the great line, like, you only love me when we're naked. I make a melody for that. And then that's what inspired that track. And so what we did, we took Steven's story, his specific story, and put it in the verses, and then opened it up to a more ambiguous, more open-ended feeling that almost anybody could relate to. We were really excited about the song because we felt that it was such a relatable concept. And we thought it was really unique for a man to be singing it. I just think that's something that not a lot of men are vulnerable about and talk about their feelings in relationships. So we just thought it was a really cool, aspect to be, putting into a record.
With our third time ever being in Los Angeles, we wrote with really dope producers called After Hours. It was just all of us kind of sitting in a room and talking about, what's happening in each other's lives. And Greg was talking about how he just met this girl and he would like drive to the city and do all these things like he wouldn't normally do for a person, and is trying to realize, is it real or is it just a phase? And then just kind of feeling, or is it just something in the water? And that's kind of how that song took life.
Kool-Aid was super fun. I had this melody, sitting on the piano for a while. And speaking of, that there was something in the water, was it something real or, was it not? Well, it turns into that it was. And that's what Kool-Aid is really about. It's the feeling of somebody becoming your everything, like everything in the kitchen sink. Like, you're my sunshine, my never under pressure, my red wine, my, like everything you could list.
Yes.
So all things you become, all the way to the sweetness of what Kool-Aid is, like your nostalgia, that's what we grew up on, right? Like, I love the orange Kool-Aid. Like, it's the best flavor of all time. No cap. People could argue with me after they see this video, whatever. But I'm telling you right now, like, it was one of the most fun things to sing. And, I was just singing, I brought it to Steven, showed it, we wrote it. And then interestingly enough, we got writer's block in the middle. And we're like, man, what we should do? We should just play basketball outside and see if anything opens up. And then as Steven's like shooting and he was just about to beat me in horse, I wrote the bridge in like 5 seconds. I was like, oh my God, I got it, dude. And then he's like, yeah, he sinks the shot, totally beats my ass in horse. And then we go back in and finish the rest of the record. It's such a fun song. It encapsulates that feeling of just falling deeper into love, something becoming the real thing. And that's what Kool-Aid's about. And I just think it's just one of those tracks that's just, I don't know, it just feels like a positivity, like getting shot up your veins. Like every time you listen to it, it makes me smile every time. And it's one of my favorite records on the album for sure.
Push It to the Limit is, again, like that feeling of, okay, I am meeting this person, I am seeing this person, I'm dancing with this person, I'm going out with them. And it's just like, I want to take it to the next level and see if there's a connection there, if the connection is real physically. And that's basically summing the record up, that I would say. What do you think about it, Greg?
I think that, when we wrote Push It to the Limit, what was really cool is that at first it was a metaphorical track. Steven and I had our own personal battles in life, as we talked about therapy sessions and stuff. I was dealing with a big illness at the time that I've recovered from, feeling good. Steven was battling personal things as well that really weighed on us, but we were still keeping it going. So we wrote an inspirational track for ourselves, Push It to the Limit, like keep going, keep going. But then we quickly realized that this fit the narrative of our love story in Songs About Girls Like You, because we quickly switched some lyrics around to make it feel like you're, as Steven said, breaking boundaries in a relationship. It's the first part of intimacy. How can we push it to the limit? Like, how can we go as far as we feel comfortable going together? That's why we also chose a whisper for our hook in that, because it's an intimate feeling. It's very close. Like, we dried up the vocals there to make it feel like you're right here, like right, tip to tip with the person. It's a breakup song in disguise. So Sriracha is this really fun, like, fuck yeah feeling, like you're just absolutely like having a great time. I bring disco. It's this feel good, like kind of like you're feeling yourself, you're badass and you're cool, but it's a moving on anthem. So as we talked about what's Girls Like You, this album, every single song has a different stage in a relationship. Sriracha is the breakup. It's the post breakup. And I don't know if you've ever felt this, but I've had some breakups where I was like devastated for about like an hour, and then I was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm going out, I'm gonna go out with my homies, I'm gonna, you know what I mean, like I'm gonna have fun, tonight's the night, we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna forget about our heart being broken. And that's what Sriracha is.
No, this is 100% based on Real Girl. It's not based on the Amazon device. But if Amazon does want to use the song, they can use the song whenever they want. Yeah, but this is a song based on true events where Greg and I met this girl at a music video shoot. There was just something captivating about her, and we wrote a song about it. And I think a lot of the details are in the record. And I think that's the first time where we just met someone and specifically was like, whoa, this person played an interesting role in both each other's lives. So let's put it in a record.
Luxury is, once again, it's fitting in this narrative of like when you fall deeper in love with a person, and when, once again, kind of taking that Kool-Aid route of like when somebody becomes your everything, but now it's even more so, like now you can actually give up everything because you don't need anything except that you're in love with this person. It was one of the first songs we wrote for the album. Like it was like in the top 3 of the first batch that we wrote. And this song, Steven and I were actually trying to manifest. Like we were like, you know what? One day we're going to be like rich and in love. We were both single at the time. So we're like, we're going to have money and we're going to have somebody that loves us and wants to be with us. And we wrote a song like to be like, we're going to be so, wealthy, but so in love that we're not going to need any of that.
I mean, all these songs are my favorite, but this one's one of my favorites as well. This one is just when you're starting to date someone new and you start to question, and it's getting to that point where it's getting very serious. We started doing all these things, eating waffle fries, and it's kind of touch and play in the beginning of the record. It's kind of asking, I would do all these things for you, but would you do it for me? It just came about, Greg and I just talking, I'm seeing this new girl, I'm seeing her. I'm just curious, like, will this person 5 years from now, or even 5 months from now, feel the same or make the sacrifices I'm willing to make the relationship last?
What's cool about it too is that it's the last song, obviously it doesn't round out the album, the remix does, but it's the last song of the story part of the album. And the reason being is because it leads an open-ended question.
Yeah.
If you read into the lyrics, you know, it's like, I would for you, like, would, like, kind of you, like, would you do this? And there's no answer. It leaves it up to the listener's determination of, do we repeat the cycle and go back to track one? You know, people write songs about girls like you messed up my heart. Or does the story of love and the ups and downs now end, have your new constant, this person that loves you back after all the ups and downs and stuff and the breakups and the makeups? Do you have this person to be with you? Would they love you as much as you love them? And that's really the age-old question when you enter in a relationship. So I just think I Would for You, rounding out the album, so cool, because it's just this open-ended thing. It's ambiguous. It's left for determination of the listener, and it's both a beginning and an end, depending on how you look at it. We just want to say shout out to Anton and Social House for their production on People Write Songs About Girls Like You, that this first song on the album. Thanks to them. You know, I know we mentioned After Hours, Jeff. I just want to say shout out to them too. Huge help. Really awesome guys.